Hey friends, so we are going to start going over our Tuesday math review. So go ahead and grab your math review from yesterday so we can go over it. And I hope you guys worked on your math review questions for today already. Alright, so let's start. So we have Kevin's brother got 738,256 hits on his new website. What is the value of the digit 7 in 738,256? So we know that for this question, we're being asked the value of the digit 7. So I'm just going to underline that. And a couple of strategies that we learned in 4th grade, you can use a place value chart to help you. But to save us time, I'm just going to write the place value on the bottom here. So we have our ones, our tens, our hundreds, our thousands, and our 10,000s, and our 100,000s. So I'll notice that the 7 is in the 100,000s place. So circle the 7, turn all your digits into zeros. The 7 has a value of 700,000. See. Go ahead and give yourself a check on right if you got the question right. Or make some revisions if you have to. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. So we have this question here. See, it has days and tickets. On Tuesday, there were twice as many tickets sold as the number of tickets sold on Monday. So here are tickets on Monday. Tuesday, it says it was twice as many. Twice as many, I know, means 2 times. Okay. How many tickets were sold on Tuesday? Okay, so we're going to take Monday and we're going to multiply it times 2. Okay, 2 times 4 gives us 8. 2 times 9 gives us 18. Regroup the 1 over here into your 2 times 3 gives us 6, and the 1 that we regrouped up there, so you add that, that would be 7. 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 1 is 2. So you get 24,788 tickets. We don't want to forget our units. Give yourself a check if you got it right. Let's move on. Okay, so we have a new pet store handed out 2,472 coupons in 4 days. They handed out the same number of coupons each day. How many coupons did the store hand out each day? So we have a total of 2,472 coupons, and we have the number of times, so the number of groups. And now we're trying to find the group size, because the question is asking us how many coupons were handed out each day, and the problem tells us that they handed out the same number of coupons each day. So we're going to go ahead and take 2,472, and we are going to be making groups of 4. Okay? So how many groups of 4 can I make if I have 24? Well, I know 4 times 6 gives me 24, so 6 goes up there. Subtract the groups that we made, you get a remainder of 0, and you're going to regroup the 7. How many groups of 4 can you make if you have 7? Well, I can only make 1 group. 4 times 1 gives you 4. 7 minus 4 gives you a remainder of 3. Okay? And regroup the 1's place. So now you have 32. Okay, so 32, how many groups of 4 can I make? Well, I know that 4 times 6 gives me 24. 4 times 7 gives me 28, and 4 times 8 gives me 32. Oh, so that means I can make 8 groups. Sorry there, I was just working out the multiples on the side of it here. So I'm going to write 8 here. Okay. So 4 times 8 gives me 32. 32 minus 32, you're going to get a remainder of 0. So your final answer is 618 coupons each day for 4 days. So your final answer is D. Okay, right? Make revisions if you have to. And let's move it along. Okay, so we have our next fraction problem. After the soccer game, the players drank 3/4 gallons of water and 7/10 of a gallon of sports drink. Did they drink more water or more sports drink, and justify your answer? So basically, we're being asked to compare 3/4 and compare that to 7/10. Okay? So I noticed that these fractions have different denominators, and that's why it's hard to compare them. but we can just rename them to have the same denominator. So I can just multiply them. 4 times 10 gives me 40. So I already know that 40 is a multiple for both of these fractions. So we did 4 times 10 to get to 40. So whatever I'm going to do to my denominator, I will do to my numerator. 3 times 10 gives me 30. Okay, so I just renamed 3/4 to 30 out of 40. Let's do the same thing over here. So how did we get from 10 to 40? We multiply it times 4. Whatever I'm going to do to my denominator, I will do to my numerator. And 7 times 4 gives us 28. So now which of this is more, 30 out of 40 or 28 out of 40? Well, that's easy. 30 out of 40 is way more than 28 out of 40. So here is our next question on the math review. It was really hard to see it on my paper, so I wanted to show you guys on the computer here what the question is. So we have Eli recorded the lengths in inches of his Lego blocks on the line plot below. So here's the line plot, and so every X would represent one of the Lego pieces. What is the total length of all the blocks in inches? So basically what we would have to do for this question is find the total length of all of these blocks. So if I have one block that's 2/8, I'm going to record that as 2/8. So I'm only going to add 2/8 one time. But let's take a look at 3/8. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks that measure 3/8. So that would be 3 times 4, which would be 12 out of 8. And let's take a look at the next one. We have 4/8 plus 4/8. That is going to be equal to 8 out of 8, which we know is also equal to 1. Let's go into the 5/8. We have 1, 2, 3. So 3 times 5 would give us 15 out of 8. And then we have 1, 2, 3 Lego pieces that measure an inch. So that would be plus 3 whole things. Okay guys, so here were the amounts that we recorded off of that line plot. So let's go ahead and start adding. I'm going to take this 8 out of 8 out, and I'm just going to add plus 1 here. So now we have 4 whole things. Okay, so that'll make it easier for me, and now I can just add these fractions. So I get 2/8 plus 12/8. That's going to be 14 out of 8. And then I'm going to add plus 15/8. So you're going to end up with 14 plus 15, 4 plus 5 is 9, and 1 and 1 gives us 2, so that would be 29 out of 8. So we get 4 and 29 out of 8 as our final answer. We can rename 29 out of 8 because that's a fraction greater than 1. So I'm just going to remind myself how to rename these fractions. So 29 out of 8, basically you're going to have to divide. 29 divided by 8. Well, I know that 8 times 4 gives me 32, so that's too much. So I'm going to have to go back to 8 times 3. 8 times 3 gives us 24. So this 29 out of 8 is 3 wholes, and 29 minus 24, that's going to give us a remainder of 5/8. So now I have 3 and 5/8 plus 4, because let's not forget about this whole number here. So you get as a final answer 7 and 5/8 inches. Okay, so remember that for these questions we're going to have to add the total length. You're going to have to add every fraction on the line plot as many times as the X appears. So just be careful with those type of questions so we don't make any errors. And finally, draw a pair of parallel lines, lines that will never intersect. So it can look like this, like that. To look vertical. Okay, it's just lines that will continue forever and never intersect, like the tracks on a train. Alright guys, so let's finish off the the problem of the day question from yesterday. I'm not going to reread it because we already did it in the last video, but just to remind you, we have these salads here, and we know that Crystal got 8 small container salads, so we know that's 3, 6. So we're going to have to find Crystal first. 8 times 3, 6. Then Mauricio, he got 2 extra large salads, which are 8, 6 each. And then the final question is, what is the difference in the weights in pounds of Crystal and Mauricio's purchase? So after we find Crystal and Mauricio, we're going to subtract that to find the difference. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. So 8 times 3 out of 6, we can just give this 8 a denominator of 1 and multiply across. So 8 times 3 would give us 24, and 1 times 6 gives us 6. So we get 24 out of 6. Okay, let's go to the next one. 2 times 8, 6. Another way that we can multiply fractions is just by adding them. So this is adding 8, 6 2 times. So 8, 6 plus 8, 6 would give us 16 out of 6. Okay? By the way, this is pounds. And this is pounds too. Let's not forget to label our units. And finally, we're going to subtract that. So we get 24 out of 6 minus 16 out of 6. Okay, when we subtract 24 minus 6, I know that to get from 16 to 20, that's plus 4. And then to get from 20 to 24, that's another 4. So that's 4 plus 4. That means they have a difference of 8, and the denominator is 6. So 86 pounds. And we can rename that because we already see that this is a fraction greater than 1. Our numerator is larger than our denominator. I can draw a model to help us rename that. So let's do that. So we have 6, 1, 2, 3, and I'm just going to split it to have 6. I have 8 out of 6, so I'm going to have to draw a second model. And I'm going to shade in 6 parts. So I'm going to shade in 6 parts up here, 8 parts I think, and then 2 more parts up here. So we find that this is equal to 1 and 2 6 pounds. Great work, everybody. See you tomorrow. And good luck on your post-assessment today.